Hi, this is Dee Collins, and I would like to welcome you to the wonderful Business World Web Summit, where I am going to be sharing some information with you today on how to publish with purpose and profit. So this is the name of the talk we're doing. I've been on a couple of other talks. We've had some amazing speakers, some amazing information. I hope that you are able to access all of the replays if you missed any of the talks. And I'm going to be talking fast, so you're probably going to want to take notes. I'm going to get right into it because I have a lot of information that I would like to share with you. And so I only have a certain amount of time to share that information with you today. So let's talk about publish with purpose and profit. Pay close attention because you're going to get some really, really great information. So this is a free self-publishing webinar. I have done this webinar before. I'm going to use a lot of the content that I use on my normal self-publishing webinar that I offer for free to the general public to give tons of information on how you can self-publish. First, I'd like to say welcome. And if you stay until the end of the talk, you do get 3 free gifts for staying. First of all, you get my presentation slides that I'm going to be using during this talk today. You're also going to be able to get a free book mind mapping template. I will send you a downloadable template that you can access to mind map your own book, and that's for free. And you also get a 30-minute publishing consultation with yours truly. Yes, I will spend 30 minutes with you on a discovery call and on a self-publishing consultation so we can discuss your publishing goals, how to make that happen, and to answer additional questions that you may have about the online course that I teach. So before we go to the next slide, let me just move that down a little. And okay, so there are 4 bonus resources that you will also get at the end of the presentation or at the end of this webinar. I will share 4 bonus resources to publish your book now, even if you don't take my class. I'm still going to give this information to you. So in this webinar, or is this webinar right for you? It is right for you if you want to publish your first book or a second or third book. If you want help overcoming publishing obstacles, if you want to become a best-selling author, if you would like a step-by-step process for publishing success, if you want a coach who genuinely cares about you and you know it is time to publish your message, your story, etc., to get something out there in print or digital, published, done, your story, no matter what it is, that you are on the right webinar if any of these things apply to you. So this will be a great session if you understand. Now, I'm not doing this live. This is pre-recorded. Well, I'm recording live right now, but there are still a comments section that should be under this video. So if you want to post some comments, that is perfectly fine. I love participation. I believe that participation is important, that you put away distractions and stay engaged because you don't want to miss something. The minute that you turn to do something, it's probably when you're going to miss the thing that you really needed. So make sure that you pay attention. Be prepared to receive a ton of information. And I won't be able to respond directly to the comments or the posts that you put in the comments, but I will look back at those and respond to anything and everything that I can. The Q&A session is at the end, but that's usually during the live webinar. So if you do come up with a question during this webinar, just go ahead and type it in the comments, and then I will do my best to respond to those a little bit later. So you want to make sure that you do get your special gifts, and I will make an invitation at the end of the call in case you feel like you need additional support, self-publishing, additional information, or you would like to become, one of my students and join the course, and that would be phenomenal because I would love to work with you. So the presentation overview, what I'm going to cover today is information about who I am, the steps to successfully self-publish your book, overcoming publishing challenges, frustrations, and fears, how to publish a book when you're super busy, detailed information on exactly how to self-publish, and one of the best ways to become a best-selling author. So How to publish with purpose and profit. One thing you're going to want to do is establish yourself as the go-to authority in your niche, or why to publish with purpose and profit. It can help you get leads for your business, sales in your business. It can help you get speaking engagements and also JV partnerships. And you can also use this to create a passive income from book royalties. So this can be like a little side business for you, where you have books out there that are selling on a regular basis, and it can create that passive income for you. A little bit about who I am. My name is Dee Collins. I'm from a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio called Berea, and now I currently live in Southern Arizona in Tucson. I have 2 amazing children that I love very much, and I also love to travel. I love to write, of course, I'm an author, and I love to cook. I have a live cooking show that I air sometimes on Facebook Live called Delicious, and I really love to help others. I'm a poet, a scholar, and an active world changer. A little bit more about me is that I'm a 3-time Amazon #1 bestselling author. I am a 2020 columnist in Marketing, Media, and Money magazine that goes out to over 77,000 plus reach on that one. I'm an international inspirational speaker and business coach, and I am the creator of the Ultimate Book Publishing Blueprint online course. I'm sorry, I think I'm talking so fast that I'm messing up some of the words, but you know what I mean. So let me say that again. I'm the creator of the Ultimate Book Publishing Blueprint online course. And here's some of the things that I've done to improve myself. I've invested over $12,000 in myself, in training, in coaching, in self-improvement, and that's just this year alone. That's not total. The total would be a much larger number than that. I've attended multiple trainings. Well, you know what? I think I've actually invested closer to maybe 12, at least between 17 to 20,000 in 2019. I invested in myself. I've attended multiple trainings. I've hired multiple mentors and coaches, and I've done everything that I can possibly think of to improve myself, because when I'm at my best, I can help you be at your best, and I can be better for you and deliver better content, better coaching, better teaching, better training, and better support for my mentees, for anyone who learns from me, anyone that I inspire, and any of my students. So why should you publish? That's the question. Why you should publish. That's not the question. That's like a statement. So why you should publish. That you have a story to tell or a message to get out. You can help others with what you publish. This is why you should publish. You want to establish credibility in your industry. Publishing is a great way to establish instant credibility. You want to expand your business or create an additional passive income, which we just spoke about a few moments ago. And you love to entertain and enrich the lives of others. If you're a creative writer, if you're an entertainment writer, if you have a cookbook or a picture book or something else, and I mean, it could be fiction or nonfiction, but a lot of times you can entertain and enrich the lives of others through what you publish. And if you love it, if you love writing and you know it is what you are meant to do, that you know that you are an author, that you know that you have content that you want to deliver into the hands of others, if you know that you want to share what you have inside and get it out and make it available to other people. So have you ever said something like this? I have no idea how to publish a book or get on Amazon. I don't even know what my book would be about if I were to publish a book. Do I really have something to say that people will want to read? And what if I publish a book and no one buys it? Ooh, that's a scary thought. But what if you publish a book and like 100,000 people buy it? I am way too busy to write and publish a book. Like, I can barely keep up with the things that I'm doing in my life right now. How in the world am I going to have time to publish a book? And I'm not sure I can do this, and nobody knows who I am. So, how can I even make a difference? Well, let me tell you about the 3 myths of self-publishing. One thing is that it costs a lot of money to self-publish. Myth busted. Self-published books don't sell well. That's another myth. And only amateurs self-publish. So this is what I experienced. I was able to self-publish for free the second time around. Self-publishing gained me tons of credibility and helped me create my online course. And I've also received and still get tons of speaking invitations because I'm a recognized published author. Now, my personal publishing story starts when I was a very little girl because I've been a writer for as long as I can remember. I used to go down into the basement of my home that I grew up in at 732 Shakespeare Drive. Figure that. I grew up on Shakespeare Drive and I'm a writer. Like I was definitely, on the right street growing up. But I used to go down into the basement as a little girl and I used to write stories, and I had my own little miniature publishing company. I used to sit at my dad's big giant desk. It was so giant to me at that time. And I would, write stories on typing paper, and then I would get construction paper and I would, use crayons and draw my covers, and then I would staple them all together, and that's the way that I published in my books, even as a little girl. And I would show them, this is my mom right here on this slide with me. That's me as a little girl. And this is my mom. And she was like my biggest fan, probably like my only fan at the time and my only reader. But I would give her all of these little handmade or homemade books that I made, and she would tell me like how wonderful they were and all that stuff. So I grew up, but I kept writing because I was just always a writer. And so as a teenager in high school, my mom started telling me, man, Dee, your writing is really good. You should publish it. And I told her, Mom, that I will. And then I got a little bit older. I went away to college, and then life got in the way. And then I had kids and jobs and all this stuff, was going on in my life. And I had never published any of my writing. And so my mom kept coming back to me and saying, Dee, your writing's really good. You've got to publish it. And I would tell her, okay, Mom, I'll publish. But I never did. And so one day she got mad at me, which, she didn't do that often. And she's like, just give me your stuff and I'll publish it for you. And I'm like, Mom, calm down. I will definitely publish my books. Well, one day my mom got a stomach ache that never went away. And we went back to the doctor over and over again and found out that she was in stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 6 months later, she was gone. And I hadn't published anything. I hadn't done anything as far as my writing that I told her that I would do. And it was absolutely heartbreaking. And it cured me from procrastination. It allowed me to really find out that procrastination truly is the thief of dreams. And so I got like my first, what I call official publishing job, which was writing her obituary, because I was the writer in the family. So of course, they asked me to write it. This wasn't the obituary that I wrote to go into a funeral program, but I think this was the one that was in the newspaper. But, after this, or when this happened, I just said, you know what, I need to keep my promise to my mom. I need to do what she, was telling me to do. And so I wanted to find the quickest way that I could actually publish. So I hopped online and I published an article called Pancreatic Cancer, Living from Diagnosis to Death, the Diary of a Cancer Patient's Daughter. And I actually had published my phone number in this article. I didn't even think, this is on the internet, I didn't think anybody would read it. Well, as it turns out, 30,000 people read this article. And so I started getting phone calls in the middle of the night. I was getting phone calls from the UK. I was getting phone calls from the West Indies, phone calls from all across the United States, people that I'm still connected to this day, that are even friends with me on social media, calling about their situations, their family member, what to do, some people that were even going through this themselves. And when this happened, I realized that when my mom kept pushing me to publish, that it wasn't just about the fact that, I had writing talent and that I was a good writer, but that it was so much larger than me, that when you decide to take what you have, no matter what it is, whether it's, you know, a cookbook, a how-to book, a business book, a book on inspiration, a book on prayer, a children's book, something that you have just to share, whatever the ideas are that are inside of you, that the amount of lives that you can touch that you don't even realize that you can touch and change for the better. You know what, you may think that what you have is insignificant, but if you publish a book that makes somebody smile, you made one person in this world smile. You brought someone joy for that moment. And even that is worth it, even if that's all that results from it. But a lot more probably will, because you're probably like me, where you think nobody's going to read it, and like 30,000 people read this article, and I was able to help a lot of people and realize that it was so much more than just about me. So after I did this, people were asking for my book. I was posting poetry on social media, and people started posting in the comments saying, where's your book? Where's your book? Where's your book? And I'm like, I don't have a book. What are you talking about? And then I realized that I had posted 200 poems on Facebook. And I was like, well, that's a book. So I gathered together those 200 poems. I copied them, pasted them into a book template and formatted it. And then I published it, and that was my first book, my first print book, and that's Abstract Poetry for Life, and it was a collection of 200 poems. And then after that, a couple years after my mom had passed away, one day I was really, really missing her. But before I tell you the story, let me just say that I would give anything for my mom to still be here. But I also realized that if she had not passed away, I probably wouldn't be on this webinar right now. I probably would have never written and published any of these books, because that was a transformational moment in my life that caused me to do what I am meant to do. So don't let something so drastic have to happen for you to do what you were meant to do, or for you to publish a book. Let the most dramatic thing that has happened in your life to cause you to publish your book is being on this webinar today, or coming into contact with me, or meeting me. But one day I wanted to talk to my mom so bad, and I couldn't. And so after wanting to talk to her so badly, I decided that I was going to just send her an email, because I just couldn't think of anything else. And so I sent her an email, and I just basically said, I love you and I miss you. Wish I had been a better daughter. And it wasn't that I was a bad daughter or anything. It's just that when you lose somebody, you always feel like you could have done more. And a couple of weeks went by after that. And so one day, like, I'm checking my email, I look at my inbox, and I have a reply to this email. And my body just like froze. And I'm like, what? So I open up the email like in tears, and it says, I love you and I miss you too. And I just couldn't believe it, and I was completely blown away. And then I immediately called my dad, and I said, hey, Dad, are you still checking Mom's email? And he's like, no. And I was like, look, Dad, you better tell me the truth right now. And he said, yeah. He said, but I just felt like you needed to hear that. And I did need to hear that. But that caused me to publish this book called Does Heaven Have a Post Office? Letters to My Dearly Departed Mother. And I wrote 26 letters to my mom about things I appreciated her teaching me growing up, things that I wish that I could tell her after she was gone. And I shared different cultural and different religious beliefs from different belief systems about death. I shared near-death experiences from people that I interviewed. And I also opened up the book if someone wanted to share a letter to their dearly departed loved one. And this became even like a form of therapy, because some people realized that I had invited to be in the book or to share their letter, was that they thought they were over it and they weren't. And so they went through an entirely new healing process by being a part of this project. So I have a few testimonials. So these are people, not people that have taken my class, but these are people that I've personally worked with to publish their books that I took on as clients. So Pastor Willie Hughes, the pastor of Power and Authority Tabernacle, he said, I had a vision for several books I wanted to publish, and Dee Collins made that vision come true. She helped me publish 3 books, and I am counting on her expertise to publish my next book, which I have to get with Pastor Hughes, because I've been so busy. He's been telling me, Dee, I have another book, and I need to get with him to publish his next book, which is going to be phenomenal. It's going to help a lot of people. So he said she has given me great customer service, and she even helped my wife publish her amazing book. So when his wife, Sister Hughes, First Lady Hughes, saw that I helped him publish these books, she's like, well, I have a book. So I helped her publish, The Power and Purpose of Praise, which is also a great book. Next is Barbara Marie Barnes. She actually saw me on a press release on the internet, and she contacted me because she was facilitating a group of homeless women, and she was asking me to be a speaker to the homeless women. So she actually called me over the phone, put her phone on speaker, and I began to speak to these women in the Washington, D.C., Maryland area, giving them inspiration over the phone. And then after that, I had to do a training project in Washington, D.C., and I got a chance to meet Barbara and her wonderful husband in person. They took me out to dinner, and while I was sitting with her, I was like, hey, where's your book? And she was like, my book? I'm not an author. And I was like, yes, you are. And so she ended up publishing her first book with me called Pretty Ugly. And it's a book about self-esteem and overcoming low self-esteem, and lots of short stories from her own life and inspiration, which is an absolutely incredible story because she's gone on to help a lot of people and encourage a lot of people. And then Heidi, I reconnected with Heidi recently. I mean, we've been friends on social media for years. I helped her publish her second book, which was a romance novel called A Trace of Seduction. And we're actually going to, I just published it, but we're actually going to relaunch this book, do some marketing, shoot Heidi to bestseller status. So I'm looking forward to working with her in the future. And I didn't even know until we published the book, or it was almost done. I can't remember exactly when, but I found out, and I'm sure Heidi wouldn't mind me sharing this, but Heidi is actually, she has a sight impairment. So she's basically considered legally blind, but she's gone on to pursue graduate degrees. She's published multiple books, and she always has such a positive attitude, and she's so encouraging, and she's such a woman of faith. She has inspired me. And I know that if Heidi was on the webinar today, she would say, if I can do it, you can definitely do it. So what's your excuse? These are some of my students, and I just love my students. I love them so much. And I encourage this. I publish this, even though some of them have not published their books yet. I put this out there because I put this out there into the atmosphere that these are future Amazon best-selling authors. I showed them how to do it. I am checking back with them. I'm holding them accountable. And sometimes that's the difference. It's not just having the knowledge, but do you have a mentor that's going to hold you accountable and push you to get it done? So we had some great students here. I put Jonathan. Jonathan never actually had time to attend the class, but now he's working with me on a different level coaching program, and he is actually working with me, and I'm his ghostwriter. So he's provided me with some content he's written, and then I'm doing a done for you publishing project for him, or a couple of done for you publishing projects for him, and then I'm going to actually do the ghostwriting on some of his books. So that's super exciting. Toni Kaufman, she is also one of the speakers on this summit, and she's absolutely phenomenal. She's already a best-selling author, but she jumps on my classes every now and again, just to see if she can contribute anything, or if there's any more that she can learn. So that's wonderful, and I'm just thankful for every single one of these people that you see here. So I would have never, published these things, like I said, without that inspiration, without my mom, without people asking me for my books. So Rain in the Wind, I published this with Dhanaraj Kizara. He lives in India. He's a phenomenal teacher and artist. And I was connected with him online. I've never met him in person. I don't know what his voice sounds like. We have chatted over the internet. And so he was loving my writing. I was loving his art. And so I said, just send me everything you have dealing with rain and nature. He emailed me all of the artwork, and then I wrote inspirational poetic pieces to go with it. And I published a book with someone who lives halfway around the world, whom I have never met. And then this book here is my first business book, Muscle Memory Millionaire, The Hidden Secret to Automating Your Success. And this is my first book where I hit #1 on the Amazon bestsellers list in like multiple categories: starting a business, business mentoring and coaching. So this was a great feeling. This happened last year, and it has opened up many, many doors for me. So honestly, I almost gave up, but instead I jumped. So yes, I have gone skydiving. I jumped out of a plane at 14,000 feet. This is not an actual picture of me skydiving because I didn't hire the people to take pictures when I went skydiving. And then afterwards, I was really mad. I was like, why didn't I hire them? Like, when is the next time I'm going to go skydiving? Or I should have definitely had somebody film this for me. So my friend Sid Sheck, he actually photoshopped my face into the skydiving picture. But yes, I did jump. So I almost gave up, but instead I jumped. And I would encourage you all to jump as well. Now, when I say I almost gave up, right before I gave up or almost gave up, I didn't give up. But right before I almost did, I thought about Steven Spielberg, who's on the screen here. And he is one of the greatest filmmakers that has ever been in the film industry, but he got rejected from film school 3 times. And then we see Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team, but went on to become one of the greatest basketball players of all times. And he is absolutely iconic. And there's a whole lot of people running around with Jordans on their feet. And then we see Colonel Sanders at 65 years old. Colonel Sanders was going to commit suicide at 65 years old. It is never too late to get started on your success. So he had a failed career, he had a failed marriage, he was depressed, unsuccessful, he felt hopeless, and at 65 years old, he was going to commit suicide, but he died a billionaire. He died a billionaire and was going to kill himself at 65. So you know what? There's hope for you. There's hope for me. Let's get started now. Let's get your message out there. Let's publish your voice, immortalize your message, share what you have on the inside with you, with other people. And the last picture here is Babe Ruth. A lot of people know Babe Ruth, the great Bambino, as the home run king, but a lot of people don't realize that he was also the strikeout king. And so you have to be willing to swing more than anyone else if you want to knock it out of the park in your niche, if you want to knock it out of the park as an author, as a published author, as a writer, as someone that just, shares their information, their expertise, and their stories with somebody else. Okay, this is when I hit #1. So I actually, grabbed that and put that, I am sorry. I was trying to figure out what I'm doing here. So let me see here. I wanted to make this a little bit smaller. It's a little big. But anyway, let me go back to this. I'm going to hide this in just a second, just so that you don't miss anything. But what happened is that when you see it says Amazon hot new releases, are best-selling new and future releases updated hourly. And so I absolutely had to capture this because I'm in the #1 spot right here. Booyah! Yes, #1. I'm super excited about this. That was like such a great feeling, such a great moment. So when these moments happen, you definitely want to do a screenshot because you're going to want to share that. So I want to share with you this quote by Edward Teller, the Hungarian-American nuclear physicist. He said that when you come to the end of all the light you know, and it's time to step into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing that one of two things shall happen. Either you will be given something solid to stand on in the darkness, or you will be taught how to fly. So your training begins now, and I know you thought that it already started, and that's why I'm going to be talking even faster, because I have so much information that I want and need to get to you. But I'm going to give you practical information for self-publishing, information from my publishing course that I teach, and an action plan for you and next steps on what you can do. Checkpoint, just making sure everybody's okay. Not going to take a lot of time here so that we can get the rest of the information to you. But what is your dream or impact you want to make on the world? Do you want to inform and teach people? Do you want to influence and transform people? Do you want to entertain and impact people? Or would you like to be a world changer? What do you want to do? So how can publishing your book impact your personal life? It can actually give you a sense of achievement. It can give you confidence. It can impact your family. I mean, your family can look up to you. You can be, a leader for them and an example for them. It can give you more freedom. And it can also open up great opportunities. I mentioned speaking engagements. I mentioned improving your business. I just mentioned, just coming into contact with the people, helping people, changing people's lives. And let me ask you this, what would achieving your dream results for publishing your book allow you to do that you currently can't? So would it allow you to be able to give more? Or live a better life? Maybe you can upgrade, live in a better house, drive a better car, have status and respect, be a blessing to your family, to your friends, to the community, to other people, and maybe even travel more. I love to travel. What would you love to travel more and have time freedom in your life where you're not like locked down to a desk or a job? How would achieving this goal or dream make you feel? Would it make you feel happy? I know it made me feel fulfilled in a sense, motivated, empowered, determined. Right now, this is a picture of me with Steve Olsher. He is the author of What Is Your What? And you can grab a free copy of his book at whatisyourwhat.com. But Steve is phenomenal, and he hosts live events on podcasting. He has, wonderful shows on the internet. He is a brilliant entrepreneur, and he has, like Reinvention Radio. And I met him at Jay Facette's Mastermind to Millions conference that was in Phoenix. And his son came up to me, and Steve was letting us know, he was like, you can, get the book free online, or if you actually want the printed hard copy of the book, then you could just pay like $7 or $8 shipping, and, we will ship you out the book for free. So it was like a free plus shipping offer. And, but he had some books. So his son comes up to me and he says, hey, he says, you can, get my dad's book, free online, and, you can just pay a little bit for shipping. He said, or you can buy it now for $20 and my dad will sign it and take a picture of you. So I was like, okay, give me the book. So I bought Steve Olsher's book on the spot that day. I took a picture with him, and less than a year later, he was being featured in my book, Muscle Memory Millionaire. So just the type of relationships, the type of connections, the type of influences, how your life can change so quickly just from publishing a book and becoming a published author. So you must put in the work. Now, if you follow what I'll be sharing with you, ultimately you will achieve the results. But let me be super clear here. If you think that this will be easy and that you won't need to put in your work, or you think that this is a get super famous or get rich quick scheme, you are on the wrong webinar, because it's none of that. You do have to put in work. It's just that I make it a lot easier for you. Just like when I published my first book, I paid somebody $1,100 to help me publish because I didn't know any better. And the only thing that they did was format it. They didn't even do any editing, slapped the cover art that I provided them with together and uploaded it to the internet. And I paid $1,100, and I didn't realize that I didn't have to do that, but I figured it out. So you will have to put in some work. You will have to push yourself. but I can help you with the knowledge that I have. So the bigger the dream, the harder the grind, Dr. Eric Thomas says. He says, the bigger the dream, the harder the grind. There is no magic wand or wishing on a star results. Dream results do not come from minimal work. I'm going to give you some practical, applicable training today. So I was usually do this on the webinar, have them type work in the chat if they understand it. But let me go ahead, and I hope that I can get through this in like about 20 minutes because that's all I have left. So I'm going to be going super fast. And again, it's, so I say these myths, remember the myths about self-publishing. It costs a lot of money to self-publish. Self-published books don't sell well. Only amateurs self-publish. Well, this is what I say. Look on this webinar. It's an author. It's a publisher. Oh, I think I'm going in reverse. So, well, I said, look on this webinar. It's an author. It's a publisher, able to leap tall tales in a single bound, more powerful than a double espresso. She's faster than a printing press. It's super self-publishing mythbuster, Deneen A. Collins. Oh, that's me. Hold on. Let me just search. So, busting the myths. You can self-publish for free. Many well-known authors have self-published. Self-publishing is much faster than traditional publishing. Like if you go with a traditional publisher, it could take 6 months to a year before your book is actually out and available for people to buy. And all you need is basic typing or talking skills. You can actually talk your entire book and convert your audio file into a text file, edit that, format that, and you have a book that you didn't have to type one word of because you spoke the entire book. So has anyone ever here worried about having the money to self-publish? Like I said, I felt the same way. I prematurely spent $1,100. I figured out how to do it myself, and now I teach others how to do it. And if I could show you how hundreds of thousands of people have self-published for free, would you like to know? Okay, you can publish on, these are the two platforms that I use, lulu.com, which I published my first book on. I still use lulu.com to publish, and amazon.com, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. You can use either one of these and you can publish on them for free. Now, Publish America, I don't recommend them, but I like to tell people about them because you may want to keep them as an option. You can publish with them, or they will publish your book for you for free. You can submit a synopsis or a manuscript, and if they decide to publish, they will have you sign a contract. The only reason, well, one of the reasons why I don't like using them is because it's kind of like a hybrid. It's like a cross between self-publishing and publishing with a traditional publisher. And it just takes too long for me, because when I get an idea and I want a book, as soon as I'm able to hammer the book out, I want it available immediately for people. But this is an option for you. Now, has anyone ever worried about publishing a book that doesn't sell? What if my book doesn't sell? I have felt this way, and I have firsthand experience with it. I have felt that way, and I've published books that didn't sell. But I didn't know what I know now. So I know a lot more, and I can help you to make sure that you don't have to worry about that. You can publish the best book in the world, but if no one knows about it, it won't sell. So I show you about marketing. I show you about creating a social media presence. I show you about how to do a book launch and how to get your book out there. And self-published books can sell well when published, positioned, and properly marketed. Has anyone here ever worried about being unsuccessful with your book project because you are an amateur or you feel you don't have what it takes to publish a book? The person you are makes you a pro. You're a pro. You are the only person like you. You have your stories inside of you. You have your knowledge. You have your skills. You have your experience. So you're a pro. And current technological resources have leveled the playing field, absolutely leveled the playing field. So anybody can self-publish. You can easily become an authority for whatever type of books you want to publish with the right guidance. And self-publishing isn't just for amateurs anymore. I put orange juice in parentheses because there used to be a commercial and I had a slogan that said orange juice isn't just for breakfast anymore. But these are some self-published authors, some notable self-published authors. The Inheritance Cycle, The Martian, The Still Alice, 50 Shades of Grey was a self-published book. My Blood Approves, and the New World series. Absolutely incredible. Do any of you feel like your book isn't good enough, or you aren't good enough, or you can't publish, you're not ready, and you don't even know what your book is about? Well, that's great news because I'm going to help you with that. Some people think I have a book, but it's trash. Well, one person's trash is another person's treasure. I don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't have good content. I don't even have a book idea or know what to write about. You don't have to. Like I said, one person's trash is another person's treasure. Your book is valuable to somebody, and done is better than perfect. Better than sitting here all these years, or another year, another 6 months, another 3 years, and then you're still not a published author. Done is better than perfect. Allow me to help you get it done. You can do this. You've got this. So your life stories are great content. Your imagination is endless and unseen to the world. And if you don't have a book idea or know how to write one, I will show you. What is your passion in life? What do you know how to do? And then mind map your book. This is how you mind map. You take these blocks, you put the main topic of your book in the very center where it says overall book topic, and then you put every related topic that you can think of to the main topic. And this is called mind mapping your book. And then the next thing that you do is you take the main topic and you're going to convert that into a 3 to 5 word catchy title for your book. It's important to have a very good title, and you want it to be short because you don't want people to get lost in it. You want them to immediately know what your book is about, and so that when they're scrolling through Amazon or any other book site, they see that and it catches their attention. So if you feel like you can't communicate everything that you want in a 1 word, 3 word, or 5 word title, you can have a short title and then you can have a subtitle. So the example, my book, Muscle Memory Millionaire. You're like, oh, wow, muscle memory. Oh, millionaire, it has to do with money. But then I have a subtitle, which is the hidden secret to automating your success. So it gives people further information, but I don't have to jam all that in the main title. There's enough in the main title to stop people from scrolling, to read it, and to gather interest. So your main topic is going to become the title of your book, and then all of the related topics are going to become chapters in your book. So if you're writing a book about dogs, and then some of your related topics is, you know, dog food and pet care and the right dog beds and dog exercise and dog training. So all of those become chapters, and then you just think of the names, the titles for your chapters, and then you can have subtopics even within your chapters. But this is how you mind map your book. And then you take your, you know, each individual chapter, and then you mind map the chapter to get your individual subtopics. And this is if you have a chapter book. You might be writing a children's book, and then you would use like a storyboard or something like that, or you might have a cookbook, but you're going to have to kind of refine it to whatever type of book that you're writing. And this can help you identify and refine your book project. Why do you want to publish a book? Who do you want to publish a book for? And what do you want your target audience to receive for your book? So identify, you know, why you want to publish this book, who you want to publish it for, and what you want people to receive from it. Another checkpoint, don't have time to stay here. Now, the attractive speed of self-publishing. You can throw the traditional publishing watch out of the window. Your effort is your clock. As soon as you do it, you can publish it, and it can be available to the world in the click of a button. One time I published a 462-page book in 24 hours, and I kept the template, and sometimes I share this template, but it's amazing. You will have to connect with me further and get on a self-publishing discovery call, and maybe I can share a little bit more about that story. with you. But get out of the matrix mentality. You don't need money to self-publish. You don't need to be established or well-known. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have all your ducks in a row. You don't have to wait any longer to publish with purpose and profit. And there are some of the different types of books that you can publish here: poetry books, cookbooks, inspirational books, informational books, children's books, how-to books, picture books, business books, short stories, fiction, nonfiction, novels, novellas, biographies. Wow. Now here's the self-publishing pyramid that I came up with. It starts at the bottom because that is your foundation. That's your topic identification. After that, you're going to go to audience realization, and then you're going to go on to content creation, and then format organization. This is how you're going to organize, edit, and format your book copy. And then publication. That's when you're going to actually publish your book. And then the M at the top stands for monetization and marketing, or marketing and monetization. Now, I also have a book publishing template, like I have book publishing templates, so that you can cut and paste your content directly into the template, which is already the right size. Then you just go back in and format it, and boom, 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 you're done. A few more things, then I'll show you how to publish. It's that easy to become a published author. The 8 amazing steps of publishing your book: mind map your book, translate your mind map into a title and chapters, put your title and chapters into a book template like I just told you about, write and or finish your book, format your book, edit your book, design your book cover, and decide on your publishing platform, and then publish. So there are 3 more things that you need to do. You need to create your author bio. That's very important, because it's also a selling point, because when people are looking you up online, they're going to look at your author bio, and that will help some people decide if they want to read what you've written and what you've published. Make sure you have a professional headshot and marketing photo. You're going to use this on the cover of your book. You're going to use this on different marketing pieces. You're going to use this on profiles online. So get it professionally done. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Most shopping malls have like an inexpensive photo place that you can go into, but when you go in there, you can get a great headshot that you can use. Make sure that you get a photo release. You can print one off of the internet. They probably have one there with them at the photo business, but I always take one with me just in case, because I let them know. I say, hey, I'm going to be using some of these photos. I'm an author, and so I'm going to be using some of these, like, in my books and online. So can you just, sign this photo release so I can use it, so to make sure that you're not doing copyright infringement. Now, establish a launch team and plan your book launch. You can post on social media, you can email, you can ask family and friends, but one thing you definitely want to do is to establish a launch team. This is what can help you hit #1 bestseller, or at least get on the bestsellers list on Amazon the same day you release your book. You want everybody coming to purchase your book on the same day at the same time. Try to block off a 30-minute period of time, no longer than an hour period of time. And when you, I publish on social media, and I'll say, hey, I'm releasing a new book. If you'll be on my launch team, post in the comments, I'm in, and then people will post I'm in, and then I might create a mailing list. I might have them private message me their email so I can mass email everybody through some type of email service where I'm not spamming them, and I can send everybody messages all at one time, like Aweber or MailChimp, or something like this. And so I will email them and keep in contact with them, and I will post on social media, and I will reply to them so that I can get everybody to come buy my book on the same day at the same time. And these people are committed to being on my launch team. And when so many people buy my book at once, it causes me to hit, #1 or get on the bestsellers list in Amazon. So 3 bonus publishing tips is about publishing or purchasing your own ISBN. You don't have to. Now, Amazon will give you a free ISBN. Also, Lulu will give you a free ISBN. If you use their free ISBN, It's perfectly okay. You can get it done. This is how I recommend getting started. However, if you use a free ISBN from Lulu and you publish with them, you can't take that ISBN and then go publish it on Amazon, but you can distribute it on Amazon. So Lulu has global distribution for free, and they will actually distribute your book to all of the book databases where libraries purchase from, and to bookstores and Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. The only downfall to this is that if you publish on Lulu and you use their distribution, you can get on Amazon and all these other places, and it's phenomenal, but it can take, like 3 weeks before it gets to those after it's published. So sometimes I like to publish directly on Amazon because bam, it's right there as soon as I publish. Now, your intellectual property is protected even if you haven't filed a registered copyright. It's best to file a registered copyright, but anytime you put something in a tangible medium of exchange, meaning you put it in a Word document, that is copyright protected. That is your intellectual property, and you should just add the copyright language that says copyright, the little C in the circle, the copyright symbol, and the year and who it's copyrighted by, which can be your name, or if you have your own name that you like, or business name that you like to go under for publishing. And you should establish an online platform for your books, such as a website, not needed in the beginning. And you could just very easily do an author, a professional page as an author on Facebook. So let me be clear, you can do this just by using the information from this webinar. The challenge is there's a lot we haven't even covered and we haven't even touched on, and I'm getting ready to have to wrap up. So even a lot of things, because I know that you probably feel that you've been drinking from a fire hose right now. So you still have 3 gifts coming to you, so hold on for those. I hope that you learned something today, and I hope this webinar was of value to you. Would you like to learn more regarding publishing your book? Please, post a comment. Let me know if you want to learn more. Would you like to become a best-selling author? Type in yes in the comments if you want to. And if I help you achieve the results you want, would you be willing to give me a testimonial? Like if you, if I become your mentor, if I become your coach, if you become my student and take my class and I help you achieve the results that you want, would you give me a testimonial? I hope so. So I want you to hug the world with your message, your story, and your dreams. And I have so many publishing keys for you that I really didn't have time to cover in this brief training during the time that we've had today. But some of the things is how to become a best-selling author with your first or next book, how to successfully publish on Amazon Kindle Create in minutes with no hiccups. Now, if you've ever attempted this before, you will find out it is not as simple as just uploading a PDF, that your stuff will not look formatted the way that you want, and you need to know how to be able to go in. Like I like to just tell people, and I'm going to save you hours of time. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, exactly the format that you need it in, all of the tricks of the trade, the hacks, so that you could just upload and publish with ease on Amazon Kindle Create. How to get booked for podcast and web summit interviews to promote your book, how to properly position the sale of your book during speaking engagements, how to be a boss author who is the go-to authority in your niche, and 3 questions that I have for you. Why did you attend this webinar? What is holding you back from publishing your book? And would you like for me to work with you to get your publishing goals accomplished? Well, I hope so. So learn how to publish your book without paying an arm and a leg, and even how you can publish it for free. Get step-by-step instructions on what to do and how to publish your book quickly and easily, and become a best-selling author and create a passive income with book royalties. That's huge for a lot of people. Remember Pastor Hughes, remember Barbara, remember Heidi? The only difference between you and them is that they had me on their side. I'd love to be on your side as well. These are my two secret weapons. Becky Norwood, she owns Spotlight Publishing. She has a lot of done-for-you programs for publishing, and she helps people become published authors as well. And Kimberly Habscheid, I love this woman, so much energy. She's also a speaker on this summit. She has a company called I'm Hearing Stories. Among other things she does as an entrepreneur, but she can show you how to get an audiobook done and just be absolutely phenomenal as a published author with an audiobook. She'll make you a rock star. So here's what you get with the Ultimate Book Publishing Blueprint online course. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay, so 8 live online training sessions to show you, help you publish and profit from your book, and really help you tap into your purpose and use that to publish. You get access to a private Facebook group for information, guidance, and support, and to connect with other like-minded professionals to help you excel with your vision. You are able to access recorded training videos and instructional documents. This is in my course, which is called the Ultimate Book Publishing Blueprint, which is how to self-publish in 60 days or less with global distribution. You get a secret book and product launch process to achieve bestseller status on Amazon and more. I make you an affiliate partner with me, a referral partner that when you refer other people to my course in the future forever, I will share that with you and pay you something to say thank you. And I'm going to give you some special joint venture profitability online training sessions and a ready to go book creation template. We're almost done. So the course that I created, you get all this stuff. It's valued at $5,600. You don't pay that. The full price or the future price is actually going to be $29.97. The current price is $19.97, but I've been just giving the VIP special discount of $9.97. But before you sign up, I want to speak with you. I would like to speak with you personally and make sure the class is right for you. So I want you to book a call with me. We do have payment plans available as well, because I know how it feels to really, really want to do something, and you're just saying, oh, I just don't know if I can make that investment. But this is an investment in you, and I'm going to give you the support to help you succeed. So I want to keep the classes small. And if you want to book a private call with me, you can either go to my Calendly. I'm going to add this, and I'm going to go back and add this in the comments later so you can grab it. What I charge as a coach is $250 to $400 an hour is my fee as a coach. $250 to $400 an hour. But with the online course, you get me for $83 an hour. I'm discounting myself because you're worth it, deeply discounting myself. And so today you get me for free on this webinar. Here are the additional 4 resources I told you about. The Amazon book description generator, so you can format your book description and it will look brilliant on Amazon. How you can create 3D mock-ups of your book before it's even released or published and look like a total rock star online. And I'm going to go back and publish these resources in the comments so that you can grab them and use them. The 3 gifts, my presentation slides, I'm going to send out an email to everyone who attended this talk to make sure that you get all of your free gifts, your book mind mapping template, your 30-minute publishing consultation with me if you would like the consultation, and the presentation slides from this presentation. And you can also go to bit.ly/self-publish with D, and you can also book a call there. So again, thank you so much for being here today. You guys are completely awesome. You are future best-selling authors. You're on the Wonderful Business World Web Summit with Dee Collins, that's me. And make sure that you access the replay to this talk and to all of the other talks.